KFYR Plus News Desk, and a new campaign is being launched here in Bismarck and other state capitals to bring awareness of drug safety. Joining me to talk about this new campaign is Katie Beck-Saltler, Managing Director of Strategic Operations of Brand New Holdings. Welcome, Katie. Thank you for joining me here this afternoon.
Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. So, Katie, what inspired Overdrive Defense to launch this campaign?
Absolutely. So Overdrive is a new company. We exist to save lives ultimately by offering drug kits that help make sure that people are not dying ultimately. And so this campaign was launched because right now, North Dakota is one of 4 states where fentanyl test kits are still illegal. Just 4 states have those old laws on the books, and we really wanted to be present in North Dakota, sharing this with everybody on the ground and making sure that people can wake up and really realize the risk that exists and hopefully make changes to these laws.
As you mentioned, Bismarck is one of just a few state capitals that you launched in yesterday. You also have campaigns in Austin, Texas, Des Moines, Iowa, Indianapolis, Indiana. It's all about the fentanyl test strips that are illegal in these states. What is the rationale behind this law? Why are they illegal?
Yeah, so many states used to have these laws where fentanyl test strips were illegal under a drug paraphernalia law. And at this point, 46 states have said, no, this is a harm reduction method. These are
Mm-hmm.
saving people's lives. We're not going to make these test strips, which, just to take a second to explain what they do, if someone is choosing to use a drug, a fentanyl test strip checks whether there is fentanyl in it. So that person is aware of what they're taking. And if they're not seeking out fentanyl, they can know that, since that can be something that can cause an overdose. And so the other states have said, we're going to make these legal. We're going to make these accessible for people. 4 states have said, we're going to keep this law on the books, and we think it's time for fentanyl test strips to be legal everywhere.
What is the current state of the opioid crisis here in North Dakota, and how does it compare nationally? Do you know?
Absolutely. So on a national level, about 112,000 people died in 2023 of drug overdoses. And specifically in North Dakota, that number is 113 overdoses last year, which ultimately is more people than died in car accidents in North Dakota over the same time period. So I think we need to just realize how present this is. And obviously that the goal is getting to 0. In addition to that, even though nationally we've seen the drug overdose numbers start to go down a little bit, that's not
Mm-hmm.
true of all subpopulations. So for example, Native Americans have one of the highest rates of a per capita drug overdose rate. That's 5% of the population in North Dakota. And we want to make sure that that drug overdose rate is going down for everyone in all populations.
What specific changes does Overdrive Defense hope to achieve through this campaign?
Absolutely. Again, we want to make sure that the 4 remaining states ultimately change their laws and fentanyl test strips become legal. So this life-saving tool is available to anyone, whether they walk in and buy a Overdrive drug test kit or any other one, or they go to a local nonprofit that has them available for free. We want to make sure that these tools are fully available in every state, including North Dakota.
So are you advocating for policy changes, public awareness, or maybe even both?
Absolutely both. I think from a policy change standpoint, the legislature has the ability to change this law. They should. All citizens can be part of that by really advocating to their legislators to do so. And on a public awareness level, we really want to make sure that people are aware that fentanyl test kits exist so they can be used if necessary, whether they're for themselves or for a loved one.
How do you respond to criticism that harm reduction approach is, I guess, enabling drug use?
Yeah, I think harm reduction is a big word, and I really think of it as meeting people where they are, and saying, okay, if this using drugs is something that someone's choosing to engage in this moment, at this time, not just dismissing that. I think we've all seen that abstinence only in other contexts has ultimately not proved to be successful. I think that's the same here, where we need to meet people where they are and give them life-saving tools so we don't have these drug overdose numbers.
Explain how to the viewers the, I guess, advertising campaign that you're going to do. From what I read in the email, it's kind of a billboard on a truck, and you'll kind of drive around. Will you be using billboards possibly? And I guess you really can't, because I was going to use a photo of one of the photos that you had there. I don't think I can actually get away with that. But with that being said, how do you plan to advertise? And then do you maybe think there's going to be critics of people with that kind of language in the city?
Yeah, of course. You know, our trucks, if you see them around, are really pushing people to wake up and recognize that this is a problem, recognize that people are dying and that that's unnecessary, and that there are choices as a state North Dakota can make to make these test strips legal and more accessible to everyone. We know that they might be a little racier or more unexpected than people are accustomed to. But again, I think when you have 100,000 Americans dying every year unnecessarily, that type of aggressive marketing is certainly necessary to just kind of shock people out of just driving to work that day. And in terms of what the plan is, yes, this is a one-day billboard that will be up on a truck in North Dakota and then in the several other states. And we'll be continuing other campaigns like this in the future, really to continue to draw awareness to the issue.
And the duration will be, are you thinking of going for a few weeks, a month? How long do you think the campaign will last?
This particular billboard is just for today. It will be up and around Bismarck, and folks hopefully see it out on the road. But we expect we'll have many other campaigns that have longer duration depending on the particular initiative.
Gotcha. And Katie, one last question. How will success be measured?
I think success is all 50 states being places where people can possess fentanyl test strips without any fear. So that's the first lever of success or measure of success. And then second is ultimately eradicating drug overdoses, I would say, which might
Katie
take a little
Beck
longer.
Sutler, Managing Director of Strategic Operations of Brand New Holdings. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck. I think it's a great idea personally. So hopefully it's a success for you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. 1:37 now here at the desk. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with a look at your entertainment news next on KFYR Plus.